the people cheer. The peacemaker is finally here, making waves from sea to sea for the future of you and me. From Tokyo to the shorelines, he's signing deals and reading the signs. They said no way, but he's showing them how. Look at him now. Look at him now. Ooh, look at him now.
Sorry, folks, something's not quite right here. I don't know what it is. It's not quite right here. Yeah, the sound wasn't working right there. Did you guys have trouble with the sound? Hang on a second here. Who's this now calling me? Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys. It's important. All right, so yeah, anyway. All right. Did you guys get sound okay? It was weird. All right. Sound is fine. Okay, all right. Was it fine for the music? Did you guys hear the music playing? Because, I mean, I didn't hear it. Desktop audio was on. So let me I'm just going to play this for a second again. Did you hear that? Yeah, you did. Did you hear that? Okay, so I don't know. That was weird. Stuff happens, you know, computers, they get all goofy and act all funky on you sometimes, so that happens. Welcome back, folks. Apologies for the snafu there, the crazy stuff, yeah. Anyway, wow. So, yeah, Tian Baker, Stefan Gravenstein, expatriate family Joubert, Sumery. I just came back from Veterans Organization, so my day's been full again, folks. Wednesdays, off to judge training this morning I left here at 8 o'clock, then went from 9 to noon, drove back, got back here just in time for 1 o'clock. So basically from 8 o'clock until 3:30, I was tied up working judge training at Ronaldo's program, then my program. And then from there, I went over and visited my friend who's almost 90 and touched base with him for a little bit. Came back, had a sandwich, and then I did my radio program for 2 hours. After the radio program, went into the Veterans Organization, just came back from there. It's 11 o'clock at night, and I've been working essentially since, probably with about an hour break total, since about 7:30 this morning. Yeah, so apologies if the sound was wrong. Something acted up. So I hope you don't mind if I have a little cookie here, there, and here and there. So Amanda Kupinis, welcome to you. AJ Quinn, Sumery, Kathy Price, Dirk Kotsia, Denise Bellingham, Helen DeTwart, Leslie Ann Moon, Mandy van Rooyen, Phoenix, Alex 44066 in Ohio, Petrus van der Linde Hendo in from Poole, and Arnold Neveling, Amarencia Quinn, Dogzilla, hey everyone from friendly Seattle, Sullen Cool, okay, Evergreen State, indeed. Beyond the Mainstream, welcome, I like that username. Gina Mulnot, hello, welcome to you. Xavier Grayling, JJ Kruger, Gene Spence, Sedgefield, Malcolm Cloty. Malcolm, how's the boat? Maddie, raining in Northeast Ohio. Okay, well, that's if you're in the Mistake by the Lake, but I don't think you're in Cleveland. You told me where you're at. It's near there. Rebecca, is there sound? No, there was sound. Reload your page. Reload your page. So reload your page, and it should be fine. Right. Just stopping by here for a moment to say hello. Yeah, I noticed you were missing last night, Courtney. How's it going? Adrian Frick. Tom Pulteney, Fonz, will you be a future judge? No, I'm already a judge, Fonz. See, people don't know most of the stuff I do. I'm already a judge. So these people like this, that sloot ass wipe is at it again. He's slandering me again, and people have been sending me messages. Do you know about this? I'm like, I don't pay attention to that guy. One day, somebody he's gonna piss somebody off because he's an ass, and they're gonna beat him to a pulp, and then he's gonna learn his lesson. Yeah, people shouldn't do stupid things like that, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm already a judge. Elections on Tuesday, so. Johan Barnard says, I really advise you get some me time. Well, chatting with my nearly 90-year-old friend was a little bit of me time. But yeah, my me time usually is watching sports or reading or traveling. So, yeah. Oh, no, Fonz. Yeah, people have no idea. It's and they run around and run their mouths, you know. So, anyway. Tomorrow I have a video. Well, later today for South Africans, tomorrow for Americans. And by the way, things will get a little bit easier shortly because what's going to happen is that I'll have a little more time in my day because, number one, in November, after I think this Sunday perhaps, I have to check the date, we do daylight savings time. We fall backwards 1 hour. So the 6-hour difference with South Africa will become 7 hours, which will be advantageous for me in the evening. So instead of doing this at 11 o'clock at night, I'll be doing it at 10 o'clock. And when I do my radio show, which is on at 7 to 9 on Wednesdays, that means I just have an hour between instead of 2 hours. So that's helpful. And in the morning, it makes my mornings a little harder, but it means I'll be done sooner because I'll start at 11 a.m. and finish by 12:31. So that actually works to my advantage for 6 months. And then we switch back to spring forward. So, yeah. Rolinda's in Ireland. I didn't realize that. That's cool. Maybe you've told me that before. Tuscan Sun, 123, welcome to you. Full days, too. It's hectic. Thanks for still making time. No, I always try. Yeah, no, here's the cookies. I got these from the discount club. I got a bucket of these here. I've already eaten several of them for like $7. This used to be $2.99. Now it's almost $8 thanks to Joe Biden. Trying to start the day. Been clearing 1,000 messages at midnight. About 2,000 messages clear. Still responding to ladies' incessant voice notes. Yeah, no. Some people are very demanding of attention. Sound is 5x5. Thank you. Maddie sent me a short email. Well, you guys reminding my email at night is one way to actually check the darn stuff because it's a lot. So here are 14,000 unread email messages in my main email account. 14,000 unread. You probably think that's like 2 years. No, that's probably like 4 or 5 days of not reading email messages. But I've read some of them. 14,000. You think I'm making that up? 13,606. I'm sorry, I embellished slightly. That's that account. Let me go over to the other account, which is where I ask you all to write to. And that's why I say don't write to that account. But people don't listen. Okay. Okay, thank you, Maddie. All right, cool. Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome what you share with me. Thank you for that. What's this? More nonsense. Oh, boy. Hang on. Where's the damn... What's going on with this now? It doesn't show. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so Kathy, if you're here, I'm reading the message from Suna saying provide more, but you get limited text. That's the thing. They limit how much text you can put, so that's just nonsense. Yeah, at my time, Utopia, I'll start at 10 o'clock my time. That's correct. Suzette Haman, welcome to you. What a day, Colonel. Those are my days every day, Xavier. Almost every day. I haven't... and when I travel, it's no different. I mean, so I fill my day and get as much as I can so that I can share it with the world. I mean, so anyway. It's a visit. Okay, Rolinda. Yeah, because you're not in Ireland. Cool. Okay. Sorry to vent, but now I have 1 week to do all I need to do, become critical. How do you start putting your needs, not wants, first and create boundaries? One gold thing fan. Karen, that's a very cryptic message. You have 1 week to do all that you need to do. Well, I don't know what we're talking about. If you're talking about coming to America and getting rid of things, then the priority is if there's things that you are willing to give away to people that you care about or you trust and you want to give away those things, get rid of them. If there's things you can sell, try to sell them, be prepared to give them away or leave them with someone you can trust. I don't know all that's entailed there. I don't know what we're talking about, so I really can't offer advice. No, Dirk, she's not Irish. She's just visiting Ireland. Rena Watt, welcome to you. Kathy, they soon have sent us another mail with more information. Yeah, well, the first message you sent me, the one I just read, it came to me about 6 hours ago. That one says, you got to put more, but you don't. I mean, the question was when they choose the lyrics, you put the keywords in. They only give you so many characters. So how can you put more in? I used to do that, and it would generate 3 and 4 minute songs. Now it generates 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. It's ridiculous. Maybe they misunderstood. Yep. All right. Okay, so Xavier heard everything. Clean the music. All right, so cookie time. Don't mind me, guys. Okay, a second person has told me Durban and PE, but I have no confirmation of that. A second person has told me Durban and PE. We know Cape Town. All right. I was at Sun City last in, when was that? 2010, maybe? 2009. Oh, salsa. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that. I can't help with that. Anyway, so we do have some news that might interest people. So let me see if I can find this real quick and do it. There it is. Okay. I'll download this image here. Oh, come on now, it's taking forever. That's not what I'm looking for. There we go. So I'm going to make a video when I have time. I keep saying about a lot of things, but I don't always have time. So let me share something with you. So when this all started with refugee program, what did I say from the very beginning? The first night, it's absolutely free. Now, you might have to pay for your flight, but you don't pay for it up front, not required, because the International Organization of Migration normally fronts that fee, and then we didn't know until we got confirmation. In fact, that's how the U.S. government is doing it. So it's free. You don't pay to apply. You don't pay for medicals. You don't pay for visas. You don't pay for green card. You don't pay for any of that because you're a refugee. I said that from the very beginning. And despite the fact I told people that, and 40,000 people watched my first stream that first night on February 7th, even though it was the middle of the night in South Africa. Imagine if it had happened in the daytime there or late afternoon. I would have had 100,000 people. It would have been awesome. For a live stream, that would have been cool. But from the very beginning, I've told people it's free. But YouTube doesn't share my content widely, so a lot of people didn't know. Plus, people are gullible. And people went and got swindled. Well, two of the people that are accused of swindling came to my meet and greet at Centurion. And I didn't recognize or know who they were. Now, the one guy reached out to me early on and tried to collaborate with me to talk about the refugee program. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's not how the law works. I can't really help you. And I ignored him. He wanted to come on my program and speak, and I refused to give him any airtime because he looked shady. And it turned out I was right not to give him airtime. So they came to my Centurion meet and greet, and they took a photo, a selfie with me, just like I took with everybody else. I mean, probably about 140, 150 people took selfies at the Centurion meet and greet. Those who were there can attest to that. That's where the guy that set it up for me played my song, Save South Africa. It kind of brought me to tears. And so they came up and they took a picture. Then they took my picture and they fraudulently tried to use the picture to convince people that I endorsed their scam. Their scam was to tell people that if you give them money, they'll get you on a list. Now, it's implausible. How in God's green acre would a South African on February 7th be able to get a South African on a list for the State Department when none of you knew how the process worked? But people fell for it. I warned people, then listen, I made videos telling people not to fall for charlatans. Arctic was on here. He said, be careful. He's a very astute guy. We told people not to do it. I told you over and over again. These shysters took my photograph and then tried to convince people that I endorsed their scheme. Well, when May 12th came around, after that meet and greet, May 12th came around, and it was clear that people landed in the States and his scam had been exposed, nobody was in the States, despite the fact that he promised them they were on a list and that they were going to the States. And he said, well, he made a video, and I watched the video. It was like on Facebook or something like that. And he's like, well, I don't know what happened. You know, we're still involved in this. It's still being negotiated. We're going to get people over. We just need more money. Send us more money. This is what you do, yada, yada, yada. And he said, you know, I went to Colonel Wyatt's meet and greet, and I wasn't really impressed. He doesn't seem to know anything about this program, something like that. And he put that out there. And suckers, Afrikaners in particular, fell for the bullshit. And I said, that's bullshit. And many of my viewers knew that. So they went to his group and went to his page and said, no, you guys are frauds. Don't do this. The colonel would never say something like that. Don't use a picture. So it backfired on him. And then he lied about me. First he lied about me. Nobody bought into it. People told him he's lying. Then he did the video and said, well, I don't know. Colonel, you know. So then the South African, I think it was Megan Funderhaven, I think it was her, ran a story, and so did MSN News, ran a story based off of his social media post in which they mentioned me and said I wasn't impressive. I was impressive because I wouldn't be part of a scam to defraud people. So anyway, let's get that up over here. I want to get that picture up over here. So these guys here. Now, what I want to tell you is the following. I am heartened that people actually listen. Okay, and what I mean by that is the following. So when I became aware that people confirmed that this guy on the right was actually scamming them out of money, and I've had people wrote to me and said, the little Hitler-looking guy actually scammed them. That's what they told me. I can't attest to it. That's what they told me. They told me he scammed them. And anyway, so I told people, if someone's asking you for money, report their fraud to the embassy. Or contact the FBI on their website, or if you've got the money, call them in the States. I have confirmation from someone tonight and another person who were present when these two tried to go, and one's called De Beer, I think, and I don't know what the other guy's name is. They tried to go through the refugee program and went to get processed. People saw them. People recognized them. But my viewers listening to me, thank you so much, reported potential fraud to the FBI in the States, to the embassy. And by all accounts, these two people are out of the program and were rejected by the U.S. government. I don't know if they were turned over their information to the South African Police Service or what. And I don't accuse these people of fraud. I don't claim they committed fraud. I'm just telling you what they did with my picture and how the one guy wearing the orange shirt lied. So no good deed goes unpunished. I went here in good faith and had a meet and greet, talked to people, listened to them, and then this shithead went and made a video and said that I wasn't impressive. Well, then why did you come? Why did you come? Anyway, so if anyone knows, and I've had people tell me that this person defrauded them, but I didn't get defrauded, so I can't tell you. I'm just saying what they say. Well, Phoenix, this occurred a couple months ago, so they can rubbish it all they want. But apparently there's a lot more to these characters than even that. So I'm waiting to hear back from a couple people about more information about these two characters. But I can tell you that I did take this photograph with them. I didn't know who they were. They came to my meet and greet, and there they are. So that's me, and that's Centurion, if I recall. Yep, that's that. I did a photo with them. They asked for a photo. Yep. And then the character on the right that looks like a freaking Nazi with his little weird mustache there went and made a video and lied about me. And first they gave the impression that I was endorsing whatever they're doing. I don't endorse anything, anybody taking money from anybody. This is free. And so there you go. Anyway, those two characters. So I'm going to make a video at some point to warn people about, caution people about, being hoodwinked by charlatans. I've done it before. Charlatans, shysters, again. And so I don't. He's probably not here. But the Geo guy who called me a narcissist, his feelings hurt because I said some people are stupid. Well, he must be offended by that. Maybe he feels he's that way. I said some people. And Afrikaners seem to have this propensity to believe anything someone tells them if the last name is Van der Merwe du Plessis or something like that. An Afrikaner. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, the reason I'm speaking about tonight, Phoenix, is because I got confirmation that they were removed from the program, denied refugee status. So because of that. So there would be two people. They never even got never processed. So they were not allowed to apply for the program because they were identified. Yep. Well, Xavier, many months ago, I did say that the first interviews would be in Pretoria, and I suspect there'll be interview centers elsewhere. Possibility. And I said, if I were running the program, I would do Pretoria, Joburg, Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, Bloemfontein, Durban, Uppington, and Polokwane. I would have 8 centers. That's what I would do. At a minimum, Joburg, Pretoria, Durban, Cape Town at a minimum. A blind sunbuck, okay? I don't know what happened with SABC last night there, Alan. I don't see SABC. You have to enlighten me. Johannesburg Metro Police Department is freaking everywhere. Imagine losing 60 minutes in bumper-to-bumper queues, and I have a license to a sticker that says, yes, it's paid, now go fix a pothole. Came across Carolyn Levitt tearing into the Dems and their pig-headedness. Yeah, well, I didn't see that. Is finally starting their demerit system in December. Unpaid fines will mean you get license or registration renewals. You can't. Okay. Well, they're just trying to milk money out of people. They've stolen as much as they can. If I can't start my day with coffee night owls, I'll have a serious bad day. Sorry, Utopi. You're hard at work on a number of improvements of quality control. Yeah, okay, thanks. Well, they didn't really answer the question. I want to know why they have to fix something that wasn't broken. I used to use the keywords and description of the video and the genre, and then they upgraded to 4.5, and I went from getting 3.5 to 4.5 minute songs to 1.5 to 2 minute songs, and then it went to version 5 now, and it hasn't improved. So they're fixing something that's not broken, and that's irritating. And then they're not answering the question. Typical online company. Whoa, my phone was at 7%. Good Lord. I had no idea it was that low. Yeah, they need bonuses. Christmas is coming. Or bribes. Yep. Pretty sad. Okay. Yes, they were denied entry into the program. So they weren't rejected. They weren't allowed to apply to it because they were identified. So I have information that at least one refugee applicant may have been called back for an interview. Not because of their case, but to confirm that those 2 people were people that tried that scam. Yep. Many con artists out there. Good to know what they look like. Yep. Well, I'm not accusing being con artists. I'm just telling you that they lied about me. The guy in the orange lied about me. And tried to use my photograph to say I endorsed his bullshit, and I didn't. So that's all I'm saying. I can't confirm anything else. Where the hell? I got to remember to look. My coin. I got to remember where the coin I got from the vice president. It's got to be here on the desk somewhere, but I haven't seen it. I keep forgetting. That's kind of a big deal. I thought I put it in the drawer, but I don't see it. So that's not it. Anyway, I better find it. It can't be missing. It's got to be here somewhere. But I'm looking for a few other things too that I've got piles of crap right here I got to clean up. It's just been so damn busy. Finally, I sorted bills and put away some old bills that were here. So I've got to clean some stuff up. But anyway, that's not your problem. That's my problem. For 5 patriotic Denver support the bill so the shutdown can end. Well, he might find them. We're getting close to the deadline here. People have to be paid today or tomorrow. I mean, they have to do something. Otherwise, they aren't going to get paid on Friday, which, they're supposed to be paid. Well, yeah, it's not unforeseen, Xavier. I mistakenly thought the big, beautiful bill included, but it's 1,200 pages. I thought it included a continuing resolution or the budget for this year. I didn't realize that. I didn't read the whole thing. I didn't realize. Otherwise, I mean, this is a given that we'd have a shutdown if we didn't have a budget. But I thought the big, beautiful bill was that budget, and I thought we were set. And I'll be honest, I didn't read 1,200 pages. Who's got that kind of time? Anyway. Yeah, no. Well, I know that the Cape Town Center would have been operating in October. I said that, and I can confirm that. Yep. Dogzilla, Trump doesn't ever get paid. Why are you trolling? Okay, you're not going to hear your song tonight if you're going to be a fool. Trump has never taken a penny from the government. Every cent of his salary went back and was donated back to the U.S. government. Every cent of the $400 annual salary. Unlike creepy Joe Biden, he took all that plus bribes from the Chinese and the Ukrainians. Yep. Yeah, okay. I thought I put it back here. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Oh, I put it to my left over here. Okay, well then maybe it's on the table. It's just a little... It's a little concerning because, I mean, it's special to me, so... Here, this was in my box. The town photographer, one of the local photographers, took that. That was when I was at, that's Memorial Day, when I introduced the guest speaker. At my back to my left. Okay, all right, Francis. I'll look there again later. Anyway, so yeah, I thought you might like that. That's a pretty cool picture. I like that. I have to scan that. I haven't got around to scanning that yet. So put that in here. There we go. Anyway. Yeah, it's a cool photo. Who knew I was so sexy? Yeah, he doesn't get a song if he's trolling. I don't know if Carolyn Levitt's working for free. That's news to me. No idea. But I do know that Trump works for free. He doesn't take a salary. He's the first president in history since salaries were introduced that doesn't take a salary. Yep. Doesn't take a penny. Anyway, but you know, that's oh, Zoran. Okay, Christopher Walken. Yep. Okay. Just looking. Okay. Not a perfectly innocent question, Dogzilla. I mean, either you're completely living under a tree or you're just being disingenuous. The whole world knows that Trump doesn't take a salary. South Africans are educating here. You're just trying to be difficult. So I'll just start ignoring you if that's what's necessary here. Okay, Zelda, what's going on? All right, Johan, sorry to see you go, man. Sorry to see you go. All right, so where are we at? Just got paid. Can't wait to donate it all tax again. Heinrich Canada, I'm sorry to hear you're donating it all to taxes. I didn't get paid. I'm not getting paid. At least that's the story. That's the story here, folks, not getting paid. So we'll see if that pays out. Okay, what am I looking for here? That is not what I'm looking for. Oh, yeah, this is the military.com is an evil website. It's an evil publication. They are very biased, and they're supposedly there to support the military. It's disgusting. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just get this back over here. So I found an article earlier from military.com. SNAP is everything, talking about Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program and food stamps. Are saying it's necessary for military. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I could talk about this. You know, there are military families that actually get SNAP, but they shouldn't be getting it. I mean, if you are an E4 and you chose to have 6 children, that's beyond your means. That was your choice. Okay, we would not eat. That's how disabled U.S. Navy veteran Juan Sorrow described a life without the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP, which he and more than 40 million Americans rely on for food assistance. Includes seniors, disabled individuals, and families with children. About 1.2 million veterans are enrolled now. That's shockingly high. Of 17 million veterans, 1.2 million are in the program. So veterans do better than society. If 1 in 8 Americans is enrolled in SNAP, only 1 in 17 veterans is enrolled. So that's pretty good. Nobody controls the commercial breaks, Alex. That's all done by YouTube. And if I turn it off, then they won't tell anybody about my video. We've already discovered that. So my viewership plummets because they don't notify people when we don't let ads play. So sorry about that. Just skip it. I'm surprised they're actually playing ads right now. That's impressive. So I watched Matt Walsh earlier for 12 minutes and not a single ad played. That guy's got 3.3 million subscribers. Imagine if they played ads. Yep. 1.2 million veterans enrolled, according to the National Council on Aging. More than 20,000 military families, 213,000 National Guard and Reserve members, and more than 1 million veterans rely on such benefits, according to Veteran.com. Well, the 20,000 military families, that should not be the case. These are people living beyond their means, and that's why they're getting it. The 213 National Guard and Reserve members, I can't account for them because they're only part-time soldiers once a month on the weekend, and most of the time they're civilians. If they can't make it in their civilian life, that's unrelated to the military service, so it's not germane. The 20,000 active military, that matters. And 1 million veterans, that does matter too. But 1 million, it's 1 out of 17. There's over 17 million veterans. So we are doing better than society by 100% more. Yep. On November 1st, the distribution of SNAP benefits expected to stop because of the shutdown. Yep. So SNAP is the only way that Sorrow can keep food on his table for himself and the two boys he cares for. He had a brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder from his time in the Navy. He later worked as a 6th grade teacher, but COVID-related health problems made it impossible for him to stay in the classroom. He now lives on a fixed disability payments from the Department of Veterans Affairs by mid-month. What about disability from the Social Security Administration for not being able to work? The money runs out. Food runs out. SNAP becomes the difference between dinner and nothing at all. SNAP is everything, he said. Without SNAP, we'd go hungry. We would not eat. His is a rare exception. It's not the norm. Veterans groups and food banks are bracing for the surge. Fingers have been pointed in Washington. The Department of Agriculture blames Senate Democrats, while Democrats say Trump administration has legal power to keep benefits flowing. But that's not true. So the VA told military.com it cannot answer SNAP-related questions, referring you back to the Department of Agriculture. Yep. So Democrats say Trump has the money. And that's where they leave it. That's in disingenuous ardor. They don't give the other side down here in the story. So very disappointing publication. Very disappointing. Well, this is pretty scary. President Trump has ordered the Pentagon to begin testing nuclear weapons immediately. The U.S. has voluntarily halted nuclear explosive testing in 1992, and we haven't done it since 1992. President Trump said Wednesday he's instructed the Defense Department to immediately resume testing nuclear weapons. Because of other countries' testing programs, I've instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on equal basis. Wow. Russia announced the test of a new long-range nuclear-powered underwater weapon Wednesday and recently tested a nuclear-capable missile. My goodness. Well, this isn't good. I work hard so SARS and ANC can live their best life. Exactly, Heinrich. They must make it a rule in South Africa. If you want to be a politician, you'll have to do it for free. You have to serve the public. Then we'll have a small parliament. Yeah, no doubt about that. South African politicians, the worst cannot make it anywhere else. Indeed, just imagine how great the public service would be if it wasn't a cash cow for the useless. Off the topic, Colonel, I'm struggling to download and print documents that people from RC sent me to complete and send them back. Well, I don't understand why you're struggling. I can't help you with that. Why are you struggling? Are the attachments no good? Is your network no bad? Can you send them to a different account or a different computer or someone you trust to print them out? I appreciate what you're saying, Tom, but you're not giving me any information about what the issue is. So we've got Utopi, who knows tech very well. I know tech, not as well as Utopi, but people can help you, but we need information. Department of Energy offering 19 tons of Cold War-era weapons, grade plutonium, private companies investing in AI energy demand. Wow. Yep, nuclear reactors are on the way. Yep. Yeah, nuclear reactors. I've been saying that for ages. I've been talking about small modular reactors forever, and now we got people who are trying to put it in play. It's about time. Well, that went from 7 to 28% very quickly. It does the low end charging very quickly. And I got a new battery in there, a new screen, new battery. So, Deputy Minister, disgrace, stupid, dumb. Which Deputy Minister are we talking about? Long range, underwater, torpedo, crazy, undetectable, and can be nuclear enabled as well. That is scary. You're welcome, Utopia, but it's true. It's true. So I worry if I reboot my computer, I'm going to be logged out of everything, but I'm going to have to try that probably tonight and shut it down. It's been running for a while. I put it in sleep mode, but Microsoft, it wakes it up when it wants to. Anyway, yeah, see, I don't know if the forms come in PDF or what the deal is. So, yeah. So I don't know. I would presume that it's online form or it's a form that you print out and write on and then scan and put back in. I don't know. Well, I would think the smart way would have been to make an online form you fill out and you sign it online. Well, I think you meant to say destructive, not distractive. It's definitely distracting, but I'm sorry, I'm trying to take my boots off. So I'm wearing combat boots. So I just took those off. Whew. I've been wearing those for hours. Actually, I've been wearing them all damn day since 7:30 this morning. Wow, no wonder my feet are tired. Karen's on the Sasa Grant. Okay. Right. Okay, let's get to some of our other stuff here. Hey, Light Rain, what's going on? Well, let's see, Dogzilla. In October, President Trump used what discretionary income was available to him to ensure that people getting food stamps got them. He did that within the law. And then beyond that, in the big, beautiful bill, they've made health care more affordable for Americans. Yeah. Yeah. Despite the Democrats' intentional nuclear option to pass a bill that they hadn't read in 2010 that expires in 2025, the Unaffordable Care Act. So there you go. Why am I going into combat? Because that's what it feels like dealing with numbskulls. And I dealt with numbskulls today. Yes, Tom, you could send it to someone you trust that can print it out, perhaps, that you can get access to. Maybe a neighbor, maybe a friend. Yep. Yep. An expat family, Joubert, also knows a bit about tech, so he's offering some advice there, too. Rob Maposa says the U.S. deal could come tomorrow, next week, next month, or never. He doesn't say never. I'm saying never. President Cyril Ramaphosa said that negotiations for a trade deal with the U.S. were ongoing and voiced optimism for an agreement without providing a clear timeline. We're looking forward to concluding agreement fairly soon, and soon it could be tomorrow, next week, next month, he told reporters in Switzerland. Time frames when you deal with governments always shift. Well, especially when you don't negotiate in good faith. South Africa seeking to alleviate hefty tariffs President Trump slapped on its exports in August. Already 40,000 jobs have been lost. Yep. We are hoping for rapid progress. Anyway, Switzerland has a 39% tariff from the U.S. Well, the ANC is reshuffling, and look who they're putting in charge. No, it's not Fikili Mabulula, but it's our friend Ibrahim Rasool as a convener. ANC Secretary General Fikili Mabulula announced that the party was reconfiguring its leadership in the Western Cape and is in talks with former SA ambassador to the United States, Ibrahim Rasool, to lead the new provincial task team. Hopefully he doesn't share his opinion of white people with other ANC members. South Africa's refugee program works fast. There's thousands of people in the pipeline, Dogzilla. What are you smoking? Your socks? Dude, you've got to release your member. Johnny Boy came back from China and announced we might be able to export stone fruits to China. Well, something better than nothing. Let's take a look at how much stone fruit South Africa produces. Stone fruit. Okay, let's go. Stone fruit production, South Africa. Okay, it's the largest stone fruit producer in Africa, but only accounts for 16% of production in the Southern Hemisphere. Oh, okay. I never heard the term stone fruit. You're talking about peaches, nectarines, plums, and apricots. Okay. All right. So, got it. I had no idea that that's 350,000 tons of stone fruit annually. Okay. Peaches and nectarines are 60% of total production. Never heard them called stone fruits before. I guess this would have a big seed in the middle. Yep. Okay. So, peach production. Oh, there's stone fruit production. Okay, hang on. Okay. Plays an important role in the country's history, representing the first fruit to be exported in January 1892 when 14 cases of peaches were sent to England on board the Drummond Castle steamship. Annual production is centered peaches, apricots, nectarines, and plums with about 350,000 tons produced each year. So you're going to send them to China. Well, there you go, Johnny boy. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Frustrating couple of days. Sasa gave a fax number to appeal the reduction of my grant. Why is your grant being reduced? Why is your grant being reduced? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think he's being punked. He's like the London Times that thought they were talking to Bill de Blasio. They were actually talking to an imposter. Yeah. Anyway, so Jan Hendrik Vesel's appeal was successful, but not very. From 9 games to 8 games. They gave him 1 game back. 8 weeks. Wow. Panel said there was no exceptional circumstance to grant the request. That's even more suspicious. Wow. So they have no evidence to punish him. Then he appeals and there's no evidence to overturn it, but they take 1 week off. The original suspension had drawn outrage and criticism from South African rugby public as the state officials had not found conclusive evidence to punish Wessels, but the Judicial Committee managed to do so without new evidence or a guilty plea. But the URC statement explained why the appeal bid failed, so the appeal proceeded on the basis the player and the club wished to challenge the decision of the initial hearing and the length of the ban. The basis of such an appeal requires an appellant to demonstrate that the first instance panel erred in its findings. Oh, so the URC is saying that the panel, which had no evidence to convict him and gave him a 9-game ban, you must prove that they erred. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Albans are not stoned for it. They're nuts. My goodness. That's insane. He'll be available to play December 20th, but that'd be too late. Oh, so I got to look to see if the Barbarians are on, because the Barbarians are playing. They got a lot of Stormers. So 7 players did the Babas to face the All Black 15 on Saturday. Yep. Strong Stormers contingent will be part of the Barbarian side selected to face the All Black 15 in Brentford. Yeah, Stormers players in the starting 15 include Leland Zas, Evan Roos, Ruben van Heerden, Ali Kebbel, Andre Hugafenta, Ali Vermaak, Dan Duplessis on the bench. Wow. Well, Andre Hugafenta, Ali Vermaak, and Dan Duplessis on the bench. The coach is John Dobson, so not a surprise. He has a lot. Let's see. Max Malins. Werner Kolk is on there. So another South African. Matthias Moroni, Benhard Janssen van Rensburg, another South African. Leyland Zas, Rob Duprier, another South African. Rodri Williams, Welshman, Evan Ruis, Fitz Harding, Hanru Liebenberg, another South African, Ruben van Heerden, Ernst van Rijn, this Asanabe Labakanya. It's almost all South Africans on the Barbarian side. This is strange. I've never seen that many South Africans on the Barbarian side. So they're playing Saturday. I don't know that I can watch that. Let me see if I can find out where that's at, because I've got the Namibian game too. Okay, versus All Blacks. Okay. Where to watch? Where to watch or where to stream? That's not helpful. It's showing me some TV show. Barbarians on TV. Okay. Live sport. That's not helpful. Huh. Rugby pass. Okay. All right. Let's see what time the game's on. Rugby pass. 9:15. I could probably cover that game Saturday. Okay. Cool. All these South Africans in it. I think I should. Huh. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. Rugby Pass TV. I could probably cover that. Okay. Okay. That's cool. And then Namibia. Yep. So 8:15 in the U.S. This says it's at 9:15. But this says 8:15 down here, so I'm not sure which EST. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Anyway, well, there you go. So maybe I'll cover the Barbarians on Saturday. I don't think I can cover the Namibia game because the time it conflicts with the Springboks. Avocado, that makes sense. The stone fruit. There's a big nut inside that thing. Because my income, I get just over 3,000 interest on my investments, way less than half their income and assets threshold. So who knows? Yeah, they're scumbags. And you were honest and told them how much you had, so they're trying to screw you. Jan Piper, Colonel, I'm in Canada. How are you going to watch the Autumn Internationals? Looks like Daz and will show. I don't know what Daz is. No, I'll watch the Springboks on Flow Rugby, and I'll be calling the game. The Namibia game is supposed to be on Rugby Pass or Rugby TV. Yep. So I think, let me see. I got to check on that. So that's, hang on a second. Rugby Pass. So I don't know if I get Rugby Pass. But Rugby TV has got the Namibia game. So let me see. Rugby TV. RUGBY TV. That's not right. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just trying to... Where's that? It's So I don't see it here. International Rugby, let's see. So November 1st, England and South Africa, I've got that one. Scotland, USA. It doesn't have this listed. So where did I see that at? I found that on World Rugby. It told me where I could watch that damn thing at. So let me go to the news, all news, because we found this before. Qualification for Namibia, okay. Okay. Doesn't tell me where it's at, so. Crap. There it is, tournament. I don't want the guide, I want the actual. Climax, here we go. So where do we watch this at? I found it before. Where do I find that? Where to watch Rugby World Cup 2027 Dubai qualifier. Okay, Rugby Pass. It is on Rugby Pass TV. So why isn't it showing up there? I don't know. I don't know. Very frustrating. So they make this impossible. How are people supposed to watch this stuff? Rugby Pass TV. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's different than Rugby Pass. Rugby Pass TV. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay, so there's the game. Belgium starts in 9 days. That isn't right. That's the 8th. Hang on a second. Where's the first game? Okay. This is weird. Schedule. Okay, here we go. Belgium, Namibia. Samoa, Namibia. That's on the 11th. So where's the... What happened to November 1st? They don't have November 1st on here. They used to have November 1st on here. What the hell? Where's the... This is stupid. Did they drop the games? That's just dumb. That's stupid. Stupid. I think that's the wrong password too. It didn't say the correct password. I'll see. Oh, well, I'm back in. Okay, continue. All right, but it's not showing me the games for this week. It says November 8th. What the hell? Where is November 1st? That's stupid. Or is it November 8th? So maybe it's November 8th. I've got it bad. Okay, it is the 8th. They play 3 games. Then it's the... It can't be 13th. That doesn't make any sense. Did they change the schedule? What the hell is going on here? They play on November 8th. My bad. Okay, then the 13th. Okay, all right. Well, my bad. Okay, so I was looking. So I'm good. Not this weekend. All right, so I can do the barbarians if I can find the game. Cool. Sorry, guys. Chronic equation. Cherry is a stone fruit. That makes sense. Shawnee, what's going on? Beating England very convincingly in the semis was awesome. Some incredible individual performances. In cricket? We talking about cricket? Willem, what's going on, man? Long time no see. I haven't seen you in like a week. What's going on? Oh, it is. You're talking about the cricket. Guys, I don't watch cricket. I mean, I can go watch One Day International World Cup. That's about it. I went to that in England a few years back. Yep. One Day International in England. I went to that. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, in Japan. Well, so on the first, I'll do the barbarians in the morning. A lot of South Africans. Then I'll do the Springboks against Japan. And that'll be my Saturday. Okay. Is genocide being committed in Sudan? No. Massacres are occurring in Sudan. It's a different thing, Chugsy. It's a different thing. Very different thing. Both are horrible. Field trip to carve pumpkins. Well, that's interesting. Here we go. What's going on? Cherry liqueur. Well, that sounds interesting. All right. So I think I'm straight now. So I got the wrong days. It is the 8th. Okay. So stormers are a big part of that. Babas. That's barbarians called the Babas. Well, the All Saints Hospital has had no water for 3 weeks. Welcome to the world of the ANC. For the past 3 weeks, All Saints Hospital in Eastern Cape has been operating without water, forcing nurses, doctors, and patients to fetch water from JoJo tanks to flush toilets or take a bath. The crisis left parts of the hospital engulfed in a foul stench, with staff saying they are struggling to provide care under appalling conditions. Staff members spoke on Sunday Times. Anonymity for fear of reprisal described the situation as unbearable. There's been no water for the past 3 weeks. Well, this is what happened. Welcome to Africa. Welcome to African governorship. Welcome to African leadership. Welcome to African management of resources. The hospitals didn't have these problems under the National Party. My hip is better, but it's not healed, but it's better. But I have a sports medicine appointment tomorrow with Dr. Kumar. So we'll see what Dr. Kumar says. A JoJo tank. Holden Caulfield, a JoJo tank is a plastic tank where water is stored. And so you store it up there over time. Let me get a picture of a JoJo tank here for you. So, JoJo tank. JoJo tank, South Africa. Okay, so let me find one here. Images. Okay. Come on, it's taking forever for this damn site to load. Okay, so here's a good example of what a JoJo tank is, okay? Come on. There's a farm selling them. Okay, JoJo's the brand name, so give me a second here. I'll put it over here. Okay, so this is what a JoJo looks like. These are some big ones. They're not all this size. There you go. That's a JoJo tank. So they're plastic tanks to store water and save it up so it sits there for a while, okay? Just the name. JoJo's just a brand, and it just became. It's like saying Coke. It's synonymous with soft drink, or saying Kleenex instead of tissue because everyone calls it a Kleenex, or saying Band-Aid. Ouch, Band-Aid instead of a bandage or a plaster, as South Africans and Brits say. I just hurt my hip by doing that. That was painful. I don't care about the World Series. Yeah, they're only going to resolve by replacing the hip, so I'm not in a hurry to do that. It's not a cistern. A cistern is in the ground. That's above ground. Yep. Last 5th of November was a good day. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Echo. How are you? Need Springboks and Proteas to shine. We do. Need the Springboks to win out the rest of the way. Sudan is being committed in Sudan. What is Sudan being committed in Sudan? I understand that, Buster B. That doesn't make any sense. Hasigi's offering you some advice there, Tom Pultenay, about the documents, if you can see that. That was about 11:56 my time, so 5:56 for you guys, about 6 minutes ago. Okay, you can do the replacement here, and we can all make sure you heal up. Well, thanks for that, Willem. That's kind of you. That's kind of you. But if I get the hip replaced, how am I going to jump off the Snake River Canyon Bridge? Falling from this. Those people are crazy, man. That was crazy. That's crazy. I'll never forget that. That was something else. Anyway. Hurricane Melissa devastated Jamaica. At the time, it's now Category 1 storm. It's really downgraded, less than 100 miles an hour storms as it hits the Bahamas. But Melissa devastated Jamaica with 195 mile an hour winds, 295 kilometers per hour. And those were sustained winds and just flooding, storm surges. That's a drone view of the streets covered in mud after it passed through Montego Bay. Wow. So I would have been at higher elevation than that. That's where I would put myself. So here you go. You can see the picture here of how things look before and after. Let me see this. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay. Aerial pictures show widespread flooding, extensive damage in towns along Jamaica's southwest coast, in the parish of St. Elizabeth, and on the opposite side of the island in Montego Bay, in the capital, St. James Parish. So here you go. Oof, look at that. So what they've done is they've taken the left side of the photo undamaged and then shown the rest of the picture damaged, so you can see the difference between them. So the left side's also damaged now, but you can't see it because it's yeah, look at that. Look at all the boats that were there. And look at the devastation, completely wiped out. That's horrible. Wow. And there's massive flooding there. Agricultural. Look at that. That's completely wiped out. Boy, Jamaica has been nailed. Oh, Jamaica, Bahama. Ooh, I want to take you to Bermuda, my babe. Montego, down to Kokomo. We'll get there fast and then we'll take it slow. Oh, that's where I want to go. Yes, Beach Boys. So I'm getting messages from people saying, I filled in 0 to 3 months. Again, I told you, folks, don't think that that means anything other than you would be prepared. Doesn't mean you're going to get processed in 0 to 3 months. Some people think they can game the system that you tell them you can go in through 0 to 3 months. It means you can get out of there. No, it's not. They'll get to you when you get to you. There are people who have every day send me messages, and I'm not even going to respond to a couple of these messages now because it's, just be patient, okay? Coffee is called coffee in South Africa. What are you talking about? Yeah, it looks like before and after pictures of Gaza. Yeah, it is devastation. Yeah, it sucks. That was a sharp comment song. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Hey, Cindy, good morning. Land expropriations, British Columbia. I'm not aware of land expropriation, British Columbia. What are you talking about? Is this the giving land to the First Nations? I haven't seen that happen. People claimed it, but I researched and couldn't find anything. Trump is busy meeting with Xi Jinping. Hey, Reynold Steenkamp, making deals. Yes. Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, trade deals. Japan, $550 billion investment, $550 billion, over $500 billion investment, trade deal. Highest Japanese award to Donald Trump, recommending that he go to be nominated for the Peace Prize. Goes to South Korea, $355 billion in investment in the U.S. economy. Boom. And the U.S. and South Korea agreed to a mutual 15% tariff instead of a 30% or 25% tariff. Deal, 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 deal. It's like what's his name, Monty Hall on the Let's Make a Deal. It's incredible. Cowichan Tribe. Okay, thank you for that, Jan. Let's check into that. Cowichan. It doesn't call it land expropriation. They're worried after a land claim, but that doesn't mean it's been taken. On August 7th, the Supreme Court of British Columbia released its precedent-setting decision, the Cowichan Tribes versus Canada. The case, a huge victory of Cowichan Tribes, and sets an important precedent for First Nations crown governments across the country. The court in Cowichan found that Aboriginal title exists on lands held in fee simple and issued a declaration to that effect, a first for any court in Canada. And the court has ruled that some of those fee simple lands should be returned to the Cowichan tribe ownership, another first significant milestone. The 513-day trial also raises real questions about access to justice and the enormous burden the Canadian legal system places on First Nations if they want to protect their constitutionally protected rights to their territory. So they claimed Aboriginal land to their traditional village, surrounding lands and lands underwater near the village. The claim covered approximately 1,846 acres of land is located within what is now known as Richmond, British Columbia. All the claimed lands are presently owned by the federal crown, the city of Richmond, Vancouver Fraser Port Authority, and private parties that weren't named or involved in the litigation. They sought a declaration that they have an Aboriginal right to fish for food in the south arm of the river. The court recognized their title as a portion of the claim, including a strip of submerged lands in front of the traditional village. The fee simple lands owned by Canada and Richmond. The court also found the tribes established an Aboriginal right to fish for food. The court later found that the simple fee grants issued in the tribe lands were largely made without constitutional statutory authority. This is because the reigning policy at the time was to exclude Indigenous lands from sale to settlers. The court has issued the following. They have Aboriginal title to title lands. The Crown grants of simple fee interest, with small exception. Canada, Richmond, fee simple interest are defective and invalid. Okay, so what happens now? They have title to the lands, and they can exercise it for the land owned by Canada, Richmond, with one small exception. Note above, the fee simple titles have been declared invalid and defective. That means that this land will return to the Cowichan. The parcels owned by Canada are largely industrial lands, and the parcels owned by Richmond are mostly underdeveloped and unoccupied. The declaration and validity of these simple fees is suspended for 18 months to allow for orderly transition. For the lands held by third parties who are not defendants of claim, the fee simple titles are valid until such time as the court may determine otherwise, or until the conflicting interests are resolved through negotiation. Okay, so there's no expropriation here. The government has to give land to this tribe. Anyway, it's very complicated. So, very complicated. Are you in British Columbia, Jan Piper? If you're in Canada, you should be worried about your rights. Canada hates white people. It's ironic since 85% of its population is white, but they hate white people. Yeah, that's right, Dirk. In South Africa, they just climb over the fence and claim it and put up a tent. Yep. Oh, I didn't know you were in British Columbia. I love British Columbia. I don't like the government, but I love BC. It's natural beauty. But one of the weirdest things I ever saw was in Victoria. I was in Victoria, 1996 in Victoria, and people were walking around with BDSM clothing on and sadomasochist stuff, and people were acting like dogs and had slave collars on, nearly naked, walking in the streets in front of children. It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. It was sickening to watch that garbage. Bunch of weirdos. Yeah, British Columbia is gorgeous, folks. I've never ridden a SkyTrain. No, I have ridden a SkyTrain. What am I saying? Last time I was there, I rode the SkyTrain. Yeah, I took it from the airport downtown, and I could still walk then, so I walked all around. It was pretty cool. Yeah, so I was supposed to go back for the Sevens tournament, but that all fell apart. It sucks. I had booked my ticket from here when Air Canada still flew out of Harrisburg. They don't do that anymore. From Harrisburg, that was in 2019, to Toronto to Vancouver, which is a route that I'd done before. I used my miles for Lufthansa because it was through that alliance, so I didn't pay anything for the flight. Then I used my points to get the Hampton Inn, which is right next to the BC Stadium, right there. I mean, there's a stadium 50 meters away across the street. And so I had rooms. I was set to go. I had bought tickets for 2 Vegas Golden Knights hockey games while I was there. And I had tickets, really good tickets in the center for the entire Sevens tournament. And then the Army screwed me. And I should have just told them to get screwed. They asked me to participate in this event. And I just retired, so I said I'd do it for them. And it was during COVID. And I would have been in Canada for this. And then they pulled this crap where all of the people from the Army that were responsible for this program came from Italy, and their commander said, come back to Italy before the flights are canceled. They all left on Tuesday, and I got stuck holding the bag for the week when I should have been in Vancouver. What a mistake. What a mistake. Should have screwed the Army. Right, what's this all the nonsense about land claims? It's bullshit. The victors take the spoils. That's the way life works. Exactly. Yeah. What are you doing in well, you don't have to answer that, Jan, why you're in BC. BC is gorgeous, but it's and Vancouver, Hongcouver. So you got three main groupings of people. You got Anglos, white folks. You've got ethnic Chinese from Hong Kong, and then you've got communist Chinese from the mainland. The Anglos have been there for ages. The Hong Kong Chinese have been coming over since the 1980s, especially in the 90s when they saw the writing on the wall and that they were going to turn Hong Kong back over to the communists. So they came over. They almost all the large banks in Canada are owned by the Chinese. Yep. And then the Chinese Communist Bank coming over the last 10 or 15 years. You walk around the streets of Vancouver, and the Chinese communists and the Chinese Hong Kong don't get along. Anglos don't get involved. So the Anglos are only 1/3 of the population in their own city. It's crazy. It's crazy. The Chinese are about 2/3 of the population running around down there. Del Marie, that's what I just said. It's overrun by the Chinese. They're everywhere. Everywhere. It's a beautiful town, too. It's a shame. It's in a great location, gorgeous spot. It's much better than Seattle. Seattle's okay, but Vancouver is much better than Seattle. It's a clean city. It's lovely. It's a shame that it's wasted, and that Canadians become a minority in their own city. So anyway, but that's the reality. That's what the world looks like these days. So I'm up at 82% now. The Canadian dream never existed, but it's so dead now. Yeah, Jan, no, that's because the Canadians are a bunch of apologists and pussies. I mean, only about 1/4 of the Canadians are genuine conservatives. The rest of them are a bunch of lunatics, and they've destroyed their own country with massive immigration of people who have no cultural values to share with the Canadians. The image of a Canadian Mountie, the image of the Canadians at Sword Beach on D-Day, it's all gone. The Canadians have they pissed their dream away. Yep. People in UK and Australia are all saying the same thing. South Africans are running out of immigration options. No, I'm talking about Vancouver, Jan. I'm talking about the city of Vancouver. I know Vancouver. I've been there several times, and I've been there recently, 2 times recently. So I went there to speak at a business conference for one thing, and then I was there for another reason. 100,000 invested for 60 months, interest paid monthly. After 6 months, you draw 20,000. The bank says break the contract. Your 100,000 is now only worth 68,000. What? Well, it's Oh, Firefox wants updated. Not while I'm working. Gene Spence says, have friends that landed back in South Africa yesterday from Vancouver after 15 years said Canada has gone for a ball of shit. Yeah, Canada is just like London. It's gone. Yep. And Leicester and Luton and Manchester and Sheffield. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Birmingham, gone. Colonia are doing great. Hectic, cold, snowy winters. No more runway. Live in the UK in the early 2000s. Yeah, there's nowhere to run away. Yeah. Well, at least for now, I have my country. Maybe not Pennsylvania, but certainly Wyoming. Billions from the tribes because the miners have to pay the tribe. That's terrible. Ireland's new president promises being pro-Palestine, driving inclusivity and diversity. In 7 years, Ireland will have lost all its identity. Yeah, there'll be no Ireland in 7 years. It's like Germany. The German soccer team has no Germans on it. they're all Muslims and Ghanaians and Poles. Yep, it's asinine. I can't root for the Germans. I used to root for them. But, yeah, no, can't do it. Since Sebastian retired, I can't do it anymore. No. Sucks. Anyway. Just Ainer. How's it going, man? Well, we need escape from New York is what we need here. Helen of Troy, what's going on? So Dogzilla asked me 2 questions, which are incongruent. Do you want the USA and Canada to be predominantly? Then you say why. You're assuming I want it to be that way. No, Dogzilla, you're just typically with leftist nonsense. Leftist nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Nope. The problem is when people are swamped and inundated, and I'm not talking about the USA. I was talking about Canada. I wasn't talking about the USA. I was talking about Canada. And then I was talking about Ireland and the United Kingdom. That's not the USA. So stop conflating things and trying to start a shitstorm here. You'll never hear your song again if you behave like that. I didn't say anything about the USA. I was talking about Canada, and you know I was. And then I talked about Ireland. And that comment was right. Say, well, it might not take 7 years. Already 25% of the people occupying the Republic of Ireland are foreigners. And the crimes are up. The streets of Dublin are unsafe. Gangs of Africans and Middle Easterners are flooding through there. And they aren't enriching Irish culture. They aren't bringing you tales of Ireland. They aren't speaking Gaelic. Nope. They're bringing shit to Ireland, and they're dragging it down, beating people in the streets. I've seen the videos. I've seen the behavior. Yeah, it's off the charts. Yep. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, and the Canadians are just a bunch of, surrender monkeys, They won their land. They won their country. They treated, after all the abysmal treatment of First Nations, they treated them well after that, and now they're kowtowing to First Nations. It's like Australia. And the Aborigines, the handful of Aborigines are supposedly the inheritors of the entire continent. They didn't occupy the entire continent, but they're handing it all over to them. It's silly. They should be Australian citizens just like anybody else. If there's a legitimate claim where somebody's defrauded, then they should get their land. But most of this isn't the case. It's just this, mythical stuff. It's just utter nonsense. Self-loathing people. Again, Dogzilla's talking about America. I'm not talking about America. I don't know why he's trying to divert the attention to America. I'm not talking about America. We're talking about Canada and Ireland. Jan says, I've never seen weaker men than Canada. Yeah, they're soy boys. This is pathetic. It's pathetic. It's crazy. Yeah, Quebec was 96% white 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Now it's 81% white. United States was 89% white in 1960. Today it's 75% white, including Hispanics who are white. But the number of white people in this country has grown from 140 million to 240 million out of 330. So white folks aren't exactly disappearing and shrinking. They just letting more people come in the country. So I guess he wants to talk about America, so I guess we'll throw that in. No, Stefan, we won't let it happen. Okay. Yeah, the CBC is horrible. Well, and the government's horrible, too. They violate the Canadian Charter of Rights, which, by the way, was promulgated by Pierre Trudeau, the father of the scumbag, fascist, leftist, hate-wanking lunatic, Justin Trudeau, little Jussie Trudeau, the son of Fidel Castro, so they claim. Anyway, a little Juicy Trudeau there. Juicy Trudeau violated the Canadian Charter of Rights, basically their constitution, and imprisoned and fined and seized the assets of truckers who violated no laws because it was inconvenient to embarrass him. Exactly, Xavier. When you go into another people's country, you accept their norms, their mores, their values, their culture, and you accept it. If you don't, you get the fuck out. You have no business being there. I didn't say Pierre Trudeau was good. I just said the Canadian Charter of Rights was promulgated under him in 1980. And his son is the one who ripped it up and destroyed it. Yep. Yep. Well, Buster B, South African being transformed into a third world cesspool. That's what it's being transformed into. That's what it's being transformed into. Yep. 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 So, As far as America being a land of a melting pot, that's somewhat true. And that's because people have come here and they've accepted the Anglo-Saxon work ethic, the Anglo-Saxon culture, and added to it without distracting from it. That's why. But people today refuse to accept our norms. I mean, I went to judge training today and we had to hear Spanish. Screw that. Why are we giving machines to people in Spanish who have citizenship? How the fuck can you be a citizen if you can't speak the language of the country? And Spanish is not our language, despite efforts to bifurcate this country by scumbags in politics. English is language. It wasn't even our language. It's an alien language. We adopted it. And it's a global language. So it's smart. It's now become the language over the course of 400 years in this country. Yet we kowtow to people too lazy to learn the language. Now, I know it's going to come, but those who know my channel know that I speak 6 languages. And I advocate for people to learn second language and a third language. Their choice. Forcing me to know Spanish, screw that. I'm not kowtowing to invaders. Not going to happen. I covered the story before. In Maryland, when I was stationed at the National Security Agency, I came back from a flight from overseas, landed at BW Airport, Baltimore Washington National Airport, and went to go to the toilet. Fortunately, I knew where the toilet was, but I wouldn't have known because the sign was taken down because they put a temporary sign up because they just painted the door, and it said baños. The hell is baños? Do you mean toilet? Yes, but I knew that was the men's toilet, so I went in there. That's crap. At the time that sign was put on the airport at BWI, less than 1% of Marylanders spoke Spanish to any degree of proficiency. Yet, nearly 4% of the state of Maryland can speak Russian or Ukrainian. There are no signs in Russian, no signs in Ukrainian. There's the proof that this isn't doing things to accommodate people because of their numbers. It's kowtowing to a political objective to bifurcate and divide the society based on Spanish. And I don't accept it. Ronell's with me, yep. Well, the language before was mostly English and German. So many of the immigrants who came particularly to places like the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, to Pennsylvania, were German. The largest percentage of the population here were German. They came here. So the decision was, do we accept English because we were crown colonies, or do we take a different path and chose German? And the United States decided to stick with English as a language for government, and it became the de facto language for the country. And those who spoke German, slowly over generations, it faded away because it wasn't needed, although some retained it. But we have families that retain it. The Amish still speak German. It's old German, 17th century German, but they still speak German. Some of the Mennonites still speak German. And the old Mexican families and Spanish families of the old Southwest, New Mexico, Southern California, but especially New Mexico and parts of Texas and Arizona, still speak Spanish. And they've been speaking for over 400 years. And they've inculcated their progeny, which is fine. And their progeny are American citizens who speak English first and also speak Spanish because they learned it at home. And they are American citizens. And they serve in the military. They contribute. They're American. So that's great. The Amish are American citizens. They contribute. They pay taxes. They contribute to our economy. And they're very productive farmers and craftsmen. But they speak German. Nothing wrong with that. But that is not what's going on with Spanish today. Well, King Charles taking Arabic doesn't surprise me. He's so pro-Muslim, he's going to put on the hijab himself. Primal Borough, where you been, man? Well, I don't know the results of the Dutch elections. Are there any results of Dutch elections? Not even in the news over here. I covered it. Dutch election results 2025. Let's see if they got anything. Oh, it looks like the right wing didn't win. They lost seats. Wow, that's a surprise. Dutch centrist liberals neck and neck with populist voters in tight election. Okay. Okay. Doesn't tell me what. I'm looking for the results. I hate when it does this. Here we go. 98% of the reporting in, 78% turnout, so about 80%. Okay. I had 37 seats, so let's see what the results are. So Geert Wilders' party is the PVV. Okay. And it doesn't have the current results. That's 2023, so they're still working on it. Yeah, no results are posted, so major setback. They're expected to lose 12 seats. That's terrible. That's really bad news for them. The center-left party of Democrats, 66, was expected to win 27 seats. And Geert Wilders will have 25, so he won't have the government. Loss of 12 seats. He said the voter has spoken. We had hoped for a different result, but kept our backs straight. We're more combative than ever and still second and maybe even the biggest party in the Netherlands. Okay, so they have to form a government now. But Wilders has lost. Wow. There you go. Helen, I'm very, very well aware of what's Zimbabwe and Matabeleland and Mashonaland. New Queen Charles. Yeah, I think Netherlands is also beyond redemption. Uruguay, no thanks. Nothing in Latin America. Chile is the only place even remotely decent for Latin America. All right, folks. So, going to wrap it up here. It's been an hour and a half, so it's time to knock off. I'll see you later in the day. And then it's going to be an early news broadcast if I do one because I've got to go for x-rays and then my meeting with the sports medicine guy. So thanks for being here, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. About half as many people tonight as last night. That's fine. And we'll catch you guys later. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.